Welcome, everyone, to episode 17 of Confronting Our Thoughts. We're back with another week, and we'll just do a little shoot around the horn, a quick update on how our weeks went, and then we'll get right into the topics. I'll go first. I'm not going to lie, I had a pretty easy week. Our unit does a week of activities every summer. So I literally had off Monday. I played in a softball tournament Tuesday. I didn't work Wednesday, and then I worked for a total of maybe 10 hours Thursday and Friday. So as far as work goes, I had a very, very easy week. And then just enjoying the weekends out here in the PNW. So just trying to be outside as much as possible, absorbing all that vitamin D. But as far as me, it was a great week. Just spent a bunch of time by myself, bunch of walks, some great journaling sessions. It's not like a broken record, but just really does make me feel better. And yeah, so that's it with me. Luke, how you doing, brother? Like new lighting from Luke?
Yeah. Just been working on my room. Not done yet, but we're just gonna get there. That's what I did today, all day. Yeah, long week. Long week at work, but made it through. Went golfing Friday. Not a big golfer, but I'm been hitting all right. And then my buddy took me not jet skiing, but wakeboarding.
Wakeboard, yeah.
Dude, I thought I was gonna get it down, but I couldn't. I don't know. It is what it is. And then I also
What
found
is
out about
wakeboarding?
where the boat's like pulling you, and like it's like snowboarding, but
Oh,
you're just
no
on the
way.
water. Yeah. You have like the water ski too, but um, oh, we played pickleball. I found out I can't play pickleball. It's not my sport.
Yeah, pickleball is a new
But
trend. I see everyone. It's like,
yeah,
what is it? Like ping pong and tennis, right? It's pretty
yeah, kind of like a mix. Yeah,
okay. You
yeah.
get
So
after it though. The conditioning is like pretty legit, I've heard.
yeah, I
As
had
far
like
as like
one
a
of
workout.
those old Tom road rages, your steroid rages back in high school. I had one of those moments. I broke the paddle right in half. I was like, ah, I'm done.
Hey,
I'm not playing that ever again. Two
uh
tries. That's it.
I'm full blown, by the way, but I'm full blown spike ball mode. Not to toot my own horn, but I haven't lost a game of spike ball all summer. And I've been playing pretty religiously. So we'll see. We'll see when the boys come out. See when the
Yeah.
boys
That
come
doesn't
out. But I
matter.
feel I feel I feel very, very good about my performance this past weekend against some solid players. So we're good.
Yeah, we love that. We love to
Straight
hear
up.
that. Yeah.
All right, Zach, what's good? What you been up to?
Um, just working at Nike and didn't have class this past week in person. It was like asynchronous because he was at a conference or something. So we had some videos and shit to watch and like a training to do. But um it's been like hot as hell here. I don't know if I guess it's actually abnormal for how hot it's been, even though it is hotter and I'm in like the south, but it's been like 95 like regular, but then it feels like it'll be like it feels like 110 or whatever. So it's like been really steaming hot. Um so I've been outside and trying to get some sun and tan and stuff like that and just trying to enjoy my time. I've been getting some more reading done and stuff like that. And yesterday my girlfriend and I went to one of our friends' campgrounds. Her parents own like or rent land on a campground. It's just like this big like resort, but it's for campers, like campers that are just like molded to the ground. Some of them are just brought there, and people like live there. It's only open like March to November or something, but it was like super sick. It's like right by the it's like there's a river that surrounds it, but it leads into the Chesapeake Bay or something like that. But they have ice cream there and everything like that, and like two pools, and it was just a fun time yesterday. So just been getting outside a lot. So I've been loving that, enjoying that.
Yeah, that word, asynchronized. That's a great word. Word that just means abnormal.
No, asynchronous. Like if you do work asynchronous, that means you just do it on your own time.
Ooh, learn something new
Like
every
you don't
day.
meet in person, you just do async. You have async work, so you have work to complete whenever you get around to completing it. It's not like I thought that
Oh,
was a
I see
pretty
what you
good
mean,
one.
like with classes. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Not my bad. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm surrounded by yeah, just glad I'm surrounded by that knowledge. So we'll get into first topic. Obviously way shorter kind of intro just because we're back, just 7 days later from our last episode. But the first thing we wanted to get into, and Luke, I'll have you start this off. And it's how to avoid neglecting your physical health as you get older. And Luke, I'll just kind of let you take it, and then we'll just shoot off of each other. But yeah, how to avoid neglecting your physical health as you get older, and we'll stick to physical health for the conversation. Obviously, emotional, mental, spiritual. That definitely plays into it. But for the sake of this episode and this conversation, we'll stick with just our physical health and how we keep that. Keep that a priority as life gets busier, et cetera, et cetera. So Luke, I'll have you start it off, brother.
Yeah, that's something I really don't think about all the time. Which I see stuff where to read books and stuff, and I need to get into that. But I don't know. I feel like if I at least get into the gym and maintain like a steady diet, that I'll be all right in like the present. But I don't really necessarily think about my future health. If I can stay healthy in the present, then I don't really have to worry as much when I grow up.
Yeah, so you're saying just as you don't think too much about as like, okay, I'm doing this exercise and doing this diet for myself decades down the road. I'm just doing it because like it feels good in this moment, and I know that's what's right. Like I think it's
exactly
as simple as that sounds. I think it's okay also to believe in that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zach, you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach?
Yeah, I just think too, like if we're having like more responsibilities down the road, not to think too future oriented, but if you have kids or a family and a job, like how do you manage and prioritize still taking care of your physical like health? Because you see it so many times nowadays, people like, oh, I don't have time to like whatever it is, go to the gym, go for this walk. Just they don't have time for their physical health. So like at that point, they are neglecting something that can make them probably feel better and maybe live longer and like a more happy or better life. So I also do think it's harder for someone. I was thinking about this. It's harder for someone to start getting into their physical health later. So like as for all of us, we started really early going to the gym and being active, and we played sports and all that stuff. So I think it kind of molded us into always like wanting to be like taking care of our physical health. But if someone didn't do that growing up and they're not really accustomed to going to the gym and things like that, and they try to start say when they're 23 or in their late 20s 30s whatever, they might find it's actually harder to keep up with that, and they might just like quit and stop. So it's different for everyone, but I do think it'd be easier to kind of put your health first if you started early and you get into that routine and used to it. But I also just wonder, like I can't picture myself not working out when I'm older, but when when you get older, like a lot of new things happen. It's just like I can't see myself neglecting my physical health, but you never know. So I don't know.
I don't also it's okay for us not to necessarily have this conversation in a future tense mindset of being like, yeah, I'm when I'm 35, this time I'm not going to neglect my physical health. I'm saying how do us three personally, as we are older in a sense than we were when we were first starting, or we were in high school, and or like young undergraduate students, that we were just kind of still using that momentum from high school to work out. With all that aside, how do we now today still not neglect our physical health, as Luke pointed to, and then also how are we going to just continually go with those habits and stuff that we're going to have in this moment to carry us into the future. So yeah, Zach, you brought up some great points, especially the point of you saying like working out is a skill, meaning Zach, for example, started working out when he was in 6th grade. Like he's developed this skill of how to be in an environment And I mean, we all were, but Zach in this particular example, he knows how to work out in any environment. So if he would go into, if he has his bedroom, right, he knows he like does planks, push-ups, sit-ups, like a lot of that just comes second nature to you as you develop that skill. And not only the actual act of making a workout, but executing that workout, like doing push-ups with good form, doing sit-ups with good form, doing a plank and actually getting the most out of that plank. That is a skill that needs to develop. Not that it's rocket science, but there is an aspect of, you know, guys like us can probably go to a gym for 30 minutes and get as good of a workout as someone who goes in there for, you know, over an hour. It's because we know how to contract the muscles better and how to get, you know, how to work out faster in a more efficient manner than that other person. Not that that person can't get to our level. That sounds very egotistical, but get to the level of us when it comes to working out, specifically in a gym environment. But we have been doing it for a long time. So yes, but I think for the conversation, it's how do we maintain that within our lives now? And Luke, I think you know, as getting a skill, but also you've primed your environment to allow yourself to work out. You know, like I remember like you would work out not on campus last semester because a gym was way closer to your apartment building. That is a prime example, no pun intended, prime example of priming your environment. If you were to say, I'm not going to pay for a gym membership because I have a free one on campus, but you know yourself better, you've been doing this for a long time, you know you're going to go to the gym more often if it's near your commute or closer to your house where you stay. That is a prime example of, like I said, just making sure your environment is in line with your goals and your habits that you want to keep around. As you were talking, Zach, just writing down notes, and we were talking about pickleball, but keeping it fun, right? I think that's important, especially it's way easier in the summer, but like going out and working out with your significant other, playing a game, or like, you know, like spike ball on the beach, like you get a workout, or, you know, those things can still just make sure basically you're doing things for obviously having enjoyment, but also like, hey, I'm gonna maybe, even though I don't want to go out on the water today, I kind of want to sit inside. Oh wait, it's gonna be, you know, a good exercise, a good for my body, my physical health to be outside. So don't kind of tune that down or don't turn that away when it comes to doing things with your friends and stuff. Obviously there's alcohol involved in a bunch of, you know, that can obviously kind of neglect that or cancel that, but that's also something to keep in mind. And then this is one that I think is really huge, especially as you get older, but is setting goals, right? I think as, you know, we get into too much of a routine of like, go to the gym, you know, I'm going to do like a push workout today, shoulder presses, you know, dumbbell fly, whatever, you know, and then, which is okay, but you do that year after year after year, you realize like, oh, I'm just going through the motions. So kind of always having that in the Army, like that intermediate goal, that like 6-month goal out where what I'm doing now is going to directly impact something in the future. A lot of people do that through races, through bodybuilding competitions, you know, you name it, but that doesn't have to be that big. It can just be like, hey, I want to, you know, gain some on my squat. I want to gain, you know, 20 pounds this year on my squat, or just those little things, and take those goals serious, because that's really what's going to keep you disciplined and keep you in the weight room, or whatever may have you, right? I'm not always, you know, referring back to weight room, but that's just something we're all familiar with. So set goals. So first, keep it fun, go with friends, do things active with your friends, set goals, and then surrounding yourself with people who take their physical health serious. That's super important. Like I'm already, like when you guys come out here, I'm already brainstorming, like I've like looked up gyms in the area, because, you know, I know one day we're gonna like all do like just want to work out together. Well, at least one day, maybe even multiple times. That's a prime example of like, you know, if we're choosing friends, or, you know, thinking about who do you want to spend your time with, like spending time with people who take care of your health, that really does speak a lot about their character and how they take themselves serious. So I think that's super important. And like, okay, last thing was just get it in your routine. Just basically take time out of your day and say, forget, like someone, I think Joe Rogan quoted it one time, how he like, you need to change your mindset on working out. It's how can I work my day around my workout, not how can I get my workout in around my day or something. I don't know how he worded it, but the idea is like, so if I'm working out today, it's how am I going to implement that into like how am I going to implement the other things I need to do in my day around working out? Because for the most part, working out is going to be the hardest thing that we do mentally and physically. And so that's super important. And I know like, hey, this is gonna be the hardest thing I'm gonna do today. So I know I need to get it done. How am I gonna work these? How am I gonna go to the grocery store? How am I gonna whatever pick up my kids from work? How am I gonna study for this exam around my workout? Because I know that's what's going to keep me disciplined. And that's what kind of what you said, Luke, kind of just like keep your mind clear and just that's like who you are as a person. So my answer was way longer than I anticipated, but yeah. I kind of went on a rant there, but yeah. Do you guys have anything to add?
I like the last point a lot. Yeah, I like the last point a lot, and I think if you do go to the gym or whatever your physical activity is that you're thinking of, if you do it enough and consistent enough, you kind of start to already mold your mind into thinking that way. Like, what am I doing like tomorrow, for example? Like, I'll think about the gym first, like when can I go to the gym, and then like the other things kind of just fall into place, and it just kind of becomes like second nature once you're so used to doing something and you like doing it. So I think it's really important to kind of switch that mindset. It's like a reframe, and because it is a matter of prioritizing like your health and putting yourself first, and doing the hard thing. Like Tom said, it's going to be a really hard thing. Get that out of the way. And also something that was coming up was um this we kept it strictly like physical health, but there's like there's a it's like a trickle down effect of what physical health can do for you. Just like tons and tons of benefits. We don't have to go like down that path, but uh, all of us obviously we think physical health is super important, and we love to do it probably every day, maybe more than not more than we should, but we like to do it a lot and talk about it. So we just think physical health is really important for thriving.
Yeah, I know last episode was a lot about our emotions and our mental health, but this goes without saying it. I know we said it time and time again. They absolutely go hand in hand. Like on days that I do work out, I feel tremendously better emotionally for the most part, like I said, than days when I like don't. Not necessarily don't say don't take a rest day, but days that I like, hey, I'm like I know I'm on Thursdays. I know I need to do this workout, and then life happens or just not disciplined enough, what may have you, and you don't do that, man, that directly reflects my mood. And not that you can't, I need to work on that too, though. Like you shouldn't, just because you miss a workout should not mean that you're someone you don't like, right? That's but that's something also to work on. But it's just that much easier to feel better internally when I know I just started my day off with a great 15-minute resistance training exercise, or what may have you, a morning walk, because it's like one of my rest days, like 30 minutes just as the sun's rising. Like that's just a night and day difference, no pun intended. But so, okay, with all this being said, I was walking to the gym this past week, and honestly, it was one of the last things I wanted to do in that moment was work out. For whatever reason, it was just, we have those days, right, where it's like, fuck, man, like I don't want to do anything. I do not want to be, I don't even want to smell a gym right now. I don't even want to look at a dumbbell, what have you, right?
Yeah.
And so it got me thinking to let's talk about those conversations we have with ourselves when it comes time to, or I'm sorry, when we do have those days, which I don't care how long you've been doing it, whether this is, you've just done your first workout or you've been doing it for over a decade, you still absolutely have those days where the last thing you want to do is walk in a weight room and get a workout in. And so, Zach, I'll let you kind of start. What conversation, what dialogue are you having within yourself when that moment comes?
Well, I think for me, when it happens, it's sometimes I make excuses for myself to like maybe push it off even further if I don't feel like going, and I'll find ways to kind of like rationalize not going to the gym, and like maybe I'll like push it off to tomorrow or something like that. But the main the main thing that helps me get to the gym when I have those days is pretty simple. It's basically like every time I have a day where I don't feel like going, if I do go to have a workout, those tend to be like my best workouts. So it's pretty simple as that. Like I feel better after I work out, so I know like if I just just getting there is the hard part when it's for me when I have those days. Like getting there is the hardest part. But then once I'm there and like start doing whatever I'm doing, warming up or whatever, then I'm just like it like goes to like a different switch. So I think just getting there in the first place is like the conversation with myself and then just like kind of reiterating like internally that I'm gonna feel so much better once this workout is complete. Like I'll be like set up to be more productive and do more things and just like keep riding that wave instead of just sitting at home and watching Netflix or whatever I was gonna do instead of going to the
Yeah.
gym. So
Yeah. Luke?
No, I 100% agree with that. I think about that every time too. Thinking about yeah, I feel so much better. Like I can do so much more things as soon as I get this workout done. And another big one, I forget what that lady's name, but she had this like the 5 second rule where you just count down from five. You do like the five, four, three, two, one, and like I don't know if it activates your prefrontal cortex. I don't know. She made it sound like real fancy, and yeah, it kind of just triggers me to think about it and just do it and go to the gym.
Like, look, can you deep into a little bit about like practically what you mean by that? Because I've heard of that too, but I've never used it. Could you?
I don't know. Like I just have that internal conversation with myself. I'm
No,
like,
I'm sorry.
okay,
The five
I'm just
second
gonna,
rule.
yeah, the 5 second rule. Like I
Okay.
just like
Okay.
count
Yeah.
down in
Yeah.
my head. Yeah,
All right.
and wait, what you mean? Like,
No, just like
I think
what?
it's like no, I think it's like if you're like sitting down, like if I'm just sitting here, you do like five, four, three, two, one, and when you get to one, you just like do whatever you're thinking about. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. It's more like after I eat, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, you know how you just get a little tired, and I just I just want to lay down or something, and like I just sit down for a minute, like charge my phone or something, and then I'll that's when I do it, and I get my shoes on and stuff, and go to the gym. It's
Okay.
nice now because like I had to move gyms, so now like, I'm living downtown. I live like 2 blocks from the gym, so it's super nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get.
City boy.
Yeah. Real quick, if anyone's in a situation where they're moving or thinking about what apartment to move to, what might have you, seriously consider how far away the gym is. Like I'm serious. If it's an extra $100 to $200 a month to live in an apartment that's a 2 minute walk to the gym versus a 10 to 15 minute drive to the nearest gym, I'm telling you, bite the bullet if you can financially. I promise you could budget an extra 100 to $200 a month. But that is a huge difference when it comes to how consistent you're going to be with your workout routine, how close you are to a gym. I'm serious. So like, and I listen, I'm in the luckiest situation. I have a gym literally in the building I work. So I'm not going to sit here and say like, hey, I'm a prime example of someone who's done that. But I know people who, live in cities like Luke, prime example, how you navigated last year with like going to a gym closer, like, buying a
Yeah.
membership. And so, and that helped. I'm assuming that helped you tremendously. And I also know people who live in cities who have to do a 10-minute commute through the city to the nearest gym or a gym that they selected
Yeah.
to, and they cannot stick to their workout routine. And that is a huge reason. So I know that might not be feasible for a lot of people, but I'm telling you, seriously consider that if you're if you're in that situation where you're looking for an apartment. So
Also depends. I want to add something. It also depends
no,
on
no,
the gym too, and like the memberships. If you're not like a heavy gym goer, you don't need to spend $100 to go to a certain gym. That's not going to make you work out better. So don't shit on a gym because it's cheap. I was talking to Luke. He went to Planet Fitness the other day. I don't know why
Yeah.
people hate on Planet Fitness because I went
That's
there for over
cool.
a year when I lived in Pittsburgh, and at $10 a month, it had everything I needed. Like you don't need much once you start getting into a groove of things, you'll realize you don't really need much. You have like a dumbbell rack and a few machines, you can really get a good workout. So don't be like shied away when you see a price that's super cheap. It doesn't mean it's like dirty or like crap.
yes, that's a great point, Zach. And I think we all can agree how important a plan is every time you go to the gym.
Mhm.
We might be to a point now where we don't necessarily need a plan. We can go in there, get a good workout. But I'll be the first one to say I have a plan to this day. Every time I go into the gym, I have exactly what I'm going to do, the rest times, et cetera, et cetera. yeah, when I change it once a month, it might be a little tedious having to edit it for, 10 minutes. That's how long it takes. But I'm telling you, if you're, especially long days after work, if that's when you go to the gym, the last thing you're going to do, the last thing your creative mind is going to do, or lack of creative mind at that moment, is want to try to articulate a workout that's going to be effective to you. You're going to take the path of least resistance. You're going to do your favorite workouts, which are usually the easiest ones, the ones that are most convenient, the ones that you probably are doing the lighter weight, so you don't have to put on a bunch of plates. You get what I'm trying to say. Have a plan. We can sum up in this. Don't shit on easy or cheap gyms. Get it within your commute or have it close to your environment. And 3, have a plan. I think if you have a workout plan, and there's so many resources now. I mean, some of them cost money, but there's also like a ton of YouTube videos where they're just like sharing their leg day, sharing their chest day, what may have you, or whatever. I'm sorry, we're only doing weightlifting, or sharing their yoga routine, sharing their conditioning drills. So yes, have a plan. And so yeah, just a little bit, it's like my thoughts, which is prime example, like you guys said, hit the nail on the head. Delayed gratification. I know I'm going to feel better after I do this. I know I might not feel like it right now, but let me just walk in the gym. Once I'm in here, I'm going to work out, right? Like once I get to this place, I'm going to work out. I just got to get there. I got to get there. And like, for me, like once I put my AirPods in, like, all right, it's game time. I don't even think about the thoughts I just had about not working out. It's like, boom, we're here. This is what we're doing right now. And it's crazy how good your excuses sound in that moment. So don't shy away, or don't, I guess, fall to your excuses because they sound so good. Because I'm telling you, everyone has amazing excuses about why they shouldn't be working out for the most part. Like the conversation I was having was like, man, the grocery store closes. I could kind of, I should work out. Whatever the conversation, whatever these excuses I had in my brain, and the excuses we have in all of our brains, they are very reasonable excuses. But if you follow those your whole life, you're not gonna grow as a person. You're just not gonna be the person you truly want to be.
Do you have a song, like when you throw those AirPods in? What's your go-to song?
No, I don't have a go-to song. My playlist changes. I'm a big like upbeat guy though. I don't I mean, country music is nice, but a lot of days I need something a little more like fast pace. So big, just like dance music guy. I'm really big into Taylor Swift remixes right now. You can laugh, dude. Like Love Story remix is a bop. I mean, I'm a Swiftie.
Yeah, last year we were at that Taylor Swift club. You remember that?
I was full circle, yeah. But yeah, hell yeah, I do. Yeah. So, but it changes. I mean, what Luke? What's your music work right now?
I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place. Gym?
Yeah.
I mean, I like a rock wave, but also
like
just
alternative,
like
or like some
yeah,
Foo Fighters
both.
vibe, like.
But I don't know. I kind of throw like a party playlist too, so like just some like kind of EDM stuff.
Yeah,
like
no, I feel hard.
Tight.
Yeah, fuck hard with that. What about you, Z? You're just like, it's actually like Mac Miller.
No, I just shuffle my playlist. I made a playlist, so I just shuffle it, and then if I don't like a song, I'll skip it. Like if I'm not in the mood for it, I'll skip it. But for the most part, it's just the playlist I have is songs I like. So most of the time, I don't skip any of them. So it's just
Okay.
and they're anytime. Like it could be like sad shit, like old The Weekend or whatever. Like I don't care. It's just
Yeah.
if I like the song, I'll just listen to it.
For sure.
Yeah.
The workout song of the week though was "Smooth Criminal," Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, that one's a good one.
Michael Jackson, yeah. I remember I had a stage actually, crazy. I remember I was working out at the No Excuses in Portage, where I was on a Michael Jackson essentials on well, at that time it was Apple Music. I was an Apple Music guy, but yeah, it was like every workout. That was lit.
Oh, for sure.
Tom, where do you go grocery shopping?
Trader Joe's.
Fire.
I'm a Trader Joe's guy through and through. I could not love the idea behind Trader Joe's more. It's like, it's all of their brands, so you don't have to worry about comparing prices to different brands. So therefore they don't have a ton of the same product and a ton of different brands. This is what they have. Like, this is what it is. It's a super simple laid out grocery store. There's not like, I don't know, like Fred Meyer's, for example, out here, it has like fishing gear, like fishing gear and like ground turkey, like, all right, that's like a lot going on. Trader Joe's, their staff is unbelievable. There's no lines. Small store. They always have shit in stock. I'll go. I don't know if I'll ever go back to anything other than Trader Joe's. I'm just applied for an apartment that's because it's close to a Trader Joe's. Like,
is it fair to say that Trader Joe's is the Chick-fil-A of grocery stores?
I'll go there because it's not out. Like, it is more expensive than Walmart and your Fred Meyer's, or I don't know, like what your basic grocery stores are, but it is more expensive than those. But it's not as expensive as the Whole Foods and like those Gucci or those like the Gucci grocery stores. And they have like organic stuff if you want it. And I listen, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. Say Trader Joe's or Aldi, they got good. It's pretty cheap, I'd say, for
if I was
bang
like
for your buck.
100%. If I was really on a budget, like if I was a college student, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to. I know there's one in State College, but I don't know if I'm going to Trader Joe's. Like, I go to Trader Joe's like twice a week right now, so I don't know if I'm doing that if I'm in college. I'm probably going to Aldi's more, and then maybe grabbing a couple things at Trader Joe's that I like. I don't know. I haven't literally. I couldn't even tell you the difference in prices because I haven't been to a grocery store. I haven't gone like a full grocery haul at a grocery store besides Trader Joe's in so long that I couldn't even tell you what's cheap and what's expensive now.
It just depends what you buy and preference. Like Aldi, I don't like Aldi's meats, but Trader Joe's meats are good, and I don't think they're that much more expensive. But I like some other things from Aldi's, like their bagels, because both Aldi's and Trader Joe's, their bagels are cheap. But
yeah,
it's just preference. But I will say that Trader Joe's 96.4 ground beef is the best ground beef I've ever had.
Yeah, I have it. I can show you right now. Yeah, it's the butcher shop 96.4. So good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Butcher shop, baby. By the way, just a little budgeting tip, or I'm sorry, finance tip. Whatever stage of your life you're in, getting groceries. I would argue that if you would buy groceries at the most expensive grocery store, so like the Whole Foods of whatever your area is, or it probably is the Whole Foods or like that equivalent. If you were to buy only groceries in there and never go out to eat, which I know isn't really feasible, but I think you would save money than if you would, obviously there's a lot of variables included, but the big picture is like buying groceries and cooking your food will always be cheaper than going out to eat, no matter where you buy your groceries from. I know that might be a little bit of a stretch, but because when I go out to eat, like for instance, just went out to eat yesterday, and Washington's expensive, but I literally got a chicken sandwich and a drink, and it was like $25. Like, which is outrageous, but I was in an expensive part of Seattle, and it was an alcoholic beverage was the drink. But like $8 for a draft beer, and then literally like $10 for a chicken sandwich. And it was fast. No, it was like $16. It's something stupid, whatever the price I just said. Anyway, the point is, if I went to Whole Foods, the shit I get for $25 would make me more food than what I just bought. And so and obviously, I'm not saying go to Whole Foods, but I'm saying always buy groceries. Oh, get in a routine of buying groceries, not only for your health and your diet, but like groceries. Because fast food isn't cheap nowadays. Not that it was, I don't know, not that it was ever that cheap, but it's like fucking Taco Bell is like fucking legit borderline expensive now. Anyway, I don't know. We went on a tangent there, but
yeah. What was your beverage though? What would you get on tap?
I got it was just like a local wheat beer. Yeah. I don't even know why I got a wheat beer. I don't really like. I do like wheat beers. It's just like it was a hot day, and I was like, man, I think I really would want a craft beer right now. And then when I had it, and I was like, I don't know why I bought this. I should have got like a light cocktail. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Is there anything else we want to hit on the physical health part?
I think we're good.
Go to the gym.
Yeah, and listen.
Do the damn thing.
And here's what I just heard this the other day. I think literally yesterday I was talking to someone. I was playing spike ball about the gym, and he's like, man, I just don't have someone to work out with. And I like, you know, for the sake of the conversation, I was like, yeah, man, that makes a huge difference. Dude, listen, excuse my French, fuck that. Like, go develop a habit by yourself, get in the gym. You can't always be depending on someone to like, because everyone wants to feel like that extra motivation. That's not what they're going through the same struggle you are. So like, they're not necessarily going to always be there to be like, hey man, let's go, let's get this workout in, unless you're literally paying them to be there to do that, which is a different scenario. But yeah, the like, you know, I got a high school, college, like, man, when you're like living on your own or even with roommates, like you can't bank on them to be your workout buddy or bank on a workout buddy. With all that being said, I think you should date someone who is into working out, because that speaks a lot about who they are. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, I sound like a dick right now, but like, I don't even know if I would date someone who's never really been to a gym and isn't willing to learn how to work out in a gym or, yeah. It's like, yeah, because I know exactly you and Madeline,
I don't
work out
disagree.
together. But yeah, Luke, I mean,
I agree with
yeah,
you.
let me get your guys' thoughts on that. We'll dig into that hole. Was that like, is that, I literally don't even think that's too like harsh of a statement. I don't know if I would not go out with a girl who like has never been even aware of her physical health or like gives zero effort or conscious energy towards her physical health or trying to become more healthy physically.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad statement. If they're giving no effort at all, then I totally agree. But like as for me, like I don't need someone to like I go to the gym a lot. I don't need my girlfriend to be like a gym freak. I don't actually want that at all. I just want them to want to take care of themselves and be like a better person through like physical activity, whether they like to take walks or maybe they do like to go to the gym here and there, like take a cycling class, just not letting their health get away from them. Like I want them to actually like give a little bit of effort, but I don't need them to be like, I don't know, deadlifting, like doing all the crazy shit and stuff like that.
Luke, you got anything?
Yeah, I agree. Like I kind of like if I was to be with like a girl, I'd kind of ask myself three things about her. Is she working on herself, working on her goals, and work on the glutes? It's kind of like a little funny thing I like keep in my mind. But yeah, I agree.
No,
Yeah, so
yeah, and
yeah.
yeah, sorry, I keep just saying gym. That the umbrella of physical health, whatever avenue, like whatever avenue they're like going after. Not that I think everyone should do a little bit of resistance training in their workout routines, but that's what I mean. Like if they're like,
Right.
honestly, I've never even like ran before, I've never even like tried to work out. That's like a huge red flag for me. Unless they're like, honestly, like unless they, I'm sorry, but they give me like oh, if I feel a genuine interest in like I want to do this, I just haven't really had the opportunity or whatever, like, and then it's like, okay, well, I can like, we can help and we can work it out together, like I can help them. But there's definitely girls out there who be like, no, I'm okay, like I don't want to do any, I don't want to like get sweaty, or like I'll just stick with like, you know, walking to work or whatever. It's like, nah, I think I need a little more of like, well, like, what do you, yeah, a little more of like working out, you know, like a real workout. That sounds, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole right now. What I'm trying to get at is like, there needs to be a little bit of effort from them to want to become healthier physically.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you could always
yeah.
have, they can do their workout, you can do your workout, and you guys can always, you can do cardio at home together.
100%. 100%. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, that sounded mean, but I that's coming from the heart right there. I want a girl who's who takes care of herself or tries to take care of herself. No one's perfect.
Yeah. Madeline got back into yoga. She got like a membership. She used to be really into it, but got away from it. But now she goes like, I want to say like at least 4 times a week, probably.
Ooh, yeah. I just
loves it.
Yeah. I just did my 5th session. Like I buy like 5 sessions at a time because it's cheaper. I just did my 5th session last weekend, and yeah, dude, it's yeah, dude, there's plenty of hot yoga studios in Seattle. When she comes up, I would that'd be dope if you guys want to
She
go. I
actually, I
go to
think she prefers the hot one. I think if
hot
I understand.
yoga is a different beast. I do hot yoga. I mean, I do hot yoga. I try to go like once or twice a month. A prime example, it's like kind of out of my way. I have to like drive like 25 minutes to it. If I lived right near it, I think I would go more. Anyway, yeah, she wants to. I'd be more than happy because the one I go to would be kind of far from where we're at, but that'd be awesome if we all do a little hot yoga session together. We can definitely do that. Seattle's huge. This area is huge in yoga. You know, obviously it's like big into psychedelics, yoga, meditation, being with themselves. Kind of right up my alley. Besides the psychedelics, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
you guys will
Zach,
move
I'm
on to
excited.
the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So the last and final thing that I have written down here for this episode is, what is it that you desire the most? Present and future. And then what actions are you taking to fulfill that desire? So let's tackle this kind of one at a time. So Zach, what is it right now? And I don't get too attached on the word desire, but if you could tell someone like what is going through Zach's head daily that he wants to get better at.
Mm, I think being kind, maybe like being kind and just because it's free to be kind. I think I would always try to strive and be better at that because I think being kind can also lead to you feeling better about yourself, and it's just can lead to growth. I think it's just a different way of looking at things. If you just, I don't know, just trying not to be so negative, but also realizing that there are ups and downs in lives. So I would say I would like to be better at being more kind. But overall, when I first heard desire, I was like, I want to be a better person. Like that was the first thing I thought that came in my mind. But I mean, how do you work on that? I mean, it's just being kind is part of that, but there's all sorts of other things to be a better person. That's just the umbrella thing I thought of first. But
Luke?
Yeah, I'm right there with him. Like, I think of happiness. I just envision myself just having a smile on my face, my friends having a smile on their face, and just knowing that they're doing well, my family's doing well, stuff like that. And that I'm working on myself to be better for not just myself, but my family, friends, stuff like that. So that they know that I'm doing okay.
Fellas, I think it's crazy how simple life really is when we like I just asked that question and what did everyone, and I agree wholeheartedly with both your guys, like with what you guys are aligned with as well. It's like, you know, people think a lot of people when they think of desire, like what they want, they just go straight to, I know we've talked about this time, they just go straight to materialistic things, or even like even these things of like wanting X amount of kids, or, you know, wanting, you know, a secure family, and all of these things that are like, you could say like that's reasonable to want and desire, but does any of that actually matter right now? And I think what you guys both said is like what that's really what's important. Just like being kind to, like Zach, I just want to be kind to people. Not like, I want to get, you know, 4.0 this semester. Like, yeah, you like that's okay, but like that's not really gonna make anyone else better. That's okay for you to drive and when in the trenches and go, but like I actually shouldn't, I would argue like no one really cares about your materialistic desires. Like honestly, don't even tell anyone because no one really cares and it doesn't really impact them. And I'm not saying don't have those. I'm not saying don't have, you know, internal goals of, you know, getting this degree or, you know, wanting this career path. That's okay. But I don't know, man, if you're telling people that all the time, then I just think that kind of speaks that you might be a little bit too caught up within yourself. And I think you maybe need to look a little more outward of like, hey, how's my life impacting others? And what is the biggest thing? It's just being a good person and being kind. And I had this like, I really wrote down lemonade story because I was walking, talking to my mom today after I was doing some work at a cafe, walked in, was talking to my mom. There's a lemonade stand. and these kids were like selling lemonade. And I'm like, oh, I gotta buy lemonade, but I didn't have any cash on me. I had like quarters in my car. I was like, listen, his name's Scott. Listen, Scott, he was, I don't even know, 7, 8 years old. I'm bad with ages. But I was like, hey, Scott, I'm gonna be back. And I need to go to my car. I'm gonna walk to my car after I'm talking to my mom, and I'll be back to your lemonade stand. He was like, okay. And you can tell he's kind of upset. He's like, probably because he's heard that so many times from people walking and stuff. Anyway, so drove back. I was like, Scott, I'm here. He's like, well, you actually showed up. And the point of the story is that after that, I like got in my car and like, I don't know, was just talking to kids about like lemonade. I started crying in my car because I was like talking to my mom and she like, I don't know, like kind of just going through a lot. She like needs a new car and I don't know, like financially was just kind of going through a lot. And I don't know, it doesn't make me feel good because I'm far from home. And I was like, fuck, I wish I could be there. Not only like, I'm trying to help out as much financially, but also just emotionally being there more importantly, and just being in my mom's presence when she's going through things like this. Like it sucks. And then so after the phone call and like just seeing those kids' face, and like I gave him literally 6 quarters that I had like in my cup holder. But and I was like, holy shit, life is so simple. Like I was worked up about, like I said, just telling my mom and like that her situation, kind of worked up, just wasn't feeling good. And then like boom, I was like, holy shit, this isn't even like the whole car, like that doesn't matter, man. Just be kind and just try your best and be the best person like you can be, like what you guys said. And that's why I fucking love you guys, because you guys value like real shit. You know what I mean? Like real stuff that's valuable in this world. You guys value, and I'm trying to value as much as you guys are. We're all feeding off each other, trying to check in with each other. Like, hey, let's just make sure we're still focused on the main thing. And Luke, I think last episode, I didn't mean to like gig you a little bit, but you were thinking about like, I want to be around like these people 5 years down the road, and kind of this like this picture goal of what your next 5 or 10 years looks like. And that's like, okay. But I could tell you're kind of worked up about it, right? I was telling that it was impacting your current situation, just the present,
Yeah.
And I was like, man, don't worry about that right now. Like, that'll come when it's supposed to come, but unless you focus, like, yeah, it's gonna come when it's supposed to come. If you start focusing on just this moment and like, how can I make the most out of today? And that's with my daily interactions. That's with, I don't know, buying lemonade. That's with holding the door, texting a text to one of your good friends and just being like, hey man, like checking in, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I was like doing today. Like I just kind of zoned in and locked in on doing all the things that I needed to do because I was going through a lot. Like, yeah, especially since last time. And like, yeah, I just had a lot on my mind. Thought like to move out and all that stuff. But
yeah, which is like, that's also, it is also going to be a privilege to like have things going on in your life. I think that's because the other side of that can be very dark too. When you're like, fuck, I've been doing the same job for, I don't know, and maybe there's months now that like doesn't fulfill me or doesn't challenge me at all. Like I literally just come home, have nothing to do, because that also is not necessarily, I think maybe you need to change some things there. But the other side of that is having so much going on, you're so much focused on the future and all these different things. It's like, man, how can we kind of incorporate just our life, in the middle between those two? And it all comes with daily practice. It comes with daily, hey, checks up, reminder. Hey, whoa, let's like be aware of myself right here. Be aware of my thoughts. Listen to my thoughts right here. Is this really where I want my dialogue to be going towards? Like, no. All right, hey, let's hone back into right now. Hey, let's sit down. Let's take some deep breath. Let's focus on this meal. Yeah. Zach, you got anything?
Yeah, I think leaving an impact on other people is something that could go a long way for your own like emotional well-being. I think it was definitely Jordan Peterson who said it. I don't know if this is statistically or researched, but if you're like depressed or feeling really bad about yourself or sad, the like number one way to make yourself feel better is to do something kind for someone else. Like do something for someone else, and you just naturally feel better about yourself. Even if it's something super small, buying some lemonade, like Tom probably felt better after that. And it's just something like stupid, like in reality, but it meant a lot to the person selling the lemonade, and it meant a lot to Tom probably for the time like where he was at, like uh his present like emotional state. Just doing something kind for someone can really change your outlook on things. So just like, yeah, be kind and think about how you can like leave an impact on someone, like if they're in your presence. Like that's what I kind of was thinking about too. Like I want people to, like, if they leave or like I leave, they think about me, oh, he was funny, or that was a good conversation, or just small things like that. I just want to have some kind of impact that's not like negative. Like if it's anything remotely positive, then I think I'm like on the path of where I want to be, like being a better person, and just anyone I come into contact with, just kind of getting that treatment.
And just to piggyback what you just said, Zach, you just said, like, I think our goal is to just feel better about ourselves, right? I think it's all in our goal. I just want to feel better. I want to feel better. We can all say undeniably that doing something for another person makes us feel better. So when you're focused on kindness, like what you guys just said, like being a better person for other people, it's almost like it's like a cheat code, because you're going to then constantly, for the most part, you're going to see a trend of days of feeling better when you focus on being kind, when you focus on being more present, because being more present is actually giving the situation its time and energy that deserves. And a lot of that is a conversation with someone. And that doesn't necessarily, you don't even need to having crazy conversations like we have, just like talking to someone about, I mean, whatever, you know what I mean? Like talking to someone about, like at a restaurant, sitting down, talking about their job, what may have you, right? And just giving that moment the energy that it deserves, rather than being so caught up in your own thoughts and your own dialogue. And what am I going to say next? What can I make the most out of a situation? Like, oh, there's a cute girl over there. Like, let me try to get away from this guy so I can go like get myself closer to her. Or like, oh, this food's taking forever. I mean, what, et cetera, et cetera. And listen, we all have been there. We all might be there in the future, probably. But the goal is to be aware of that and then realize that, hey, I know I'm going to feel better internally when I focus on the moment in the present, being kind. It just all goes together. You know what I mean? Like it's way easier to be kind when you actually realize that there's someone's walking behind you, so you can open the door, or you take the extra, or you have the waiter, have a conversation with the waiter, so then you tip. Like being in that moment rather than being on your phone while they're taking your order. Like, oh yeah, man, I'll get like the chicken sandwich, and then you're just like not even paying attention. You don't even know what your waiter looks like. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. So I was gonna end it. If you guys don't have anything, I was gonna end it on the Daily Stoic of July 30th. This is something I read. This is something I wake up and read daily. Now, some mornings, like I wake up and I'm reading. My eyes are crusty. I like don't even know what I read. But a morning like this, I do have mornings where I like something struck me, and then I knew we were recording today, so I was like, man, this is a good one for the podcast. But real quick, we throw around the word joy casually. I'm overjoyed at the news. Sees a joy to be around. It's a joyous occasion. But none of those examples really touches on true joy. They are closer to cheer than anything. Cheerfulness is surface level. Joy, to Seneca, which is a philosopher, is a deep state of being. It is what we feel inside us and has little to do with smiles or laughing. So people say that the Stoics or Tao or depressive, they're really missing the point. Who cares if someone is bubbly when times are good? What kind of accomplishment is that? But can you be fully content with your life? Can you bravely face what life has in store from one day to the next? Can you bounce back from every kind of adversity without losing a step? Can you be a source of strength and inspiration to others around you? That is Stoic joy. The joy that comes from purpose, excellence, and duty. It's a serious thing, far more serious than a smile or a chipper voice. I know that was a lot, but I think what this is really saying is that joy is way deeper than, I would argue, those things we just talked about, right? Like those, like, I don't really, maybe you guys can help me out. I'm just trying to think of like how to articulate this in my thoughts right now.
Like basically it's saying that joy is something, if the someone wouldn't see joy on someone else's face. Like joy is a feeling inside that you have deep down inside. And for some more context, Stoics are meant to, like, are said to have like no emotions. They're like very like sit upright, very stoic because they don't show emotions, and that's what the whole thing's about. But that's basically saying emotions sometimes are surface level, but like a feeling of joy, you can't see that, is basically what I got from that like little paragraph. And like getting through hard times, having a purpose in your life, having goals, and like just like pushing on to like new things and being a better person. That's like where real joy can come in. And you don't necessarily have to be all happy and cheery to be joyful. You could show that in different ways, but you feel it internally, is what I mainly got from it.
Luke, do you have anything to add?
No, I agree. Like you're just in your present moment, you're feeling that just the energy of whatever's going on, like whatever may trigger like a little happy moment or just like you can feel the vibe of like negative energy. I mean that's not necessarily joyful like in the context, but being in that present body, which is that joy, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's not getting, too high in life or too low.
Yeah, right.
Because we always say like, hey, don't get too low, man. You'll be okay. And there's like you said, like through adversity, there is like some true. That's someone who's strong. You know what I mean? Like they just don't let life beat them down. It's when someone is strong, you don't know that they're going through something, right? Um, like just their day to day reaction. Not that they shouldn't open up, and like we talked about that, but if they're walking on the street, like, hey man, he's also not like skipping because he just, I don't know, like the stocks are up or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he's not also on that high either. Like this is a person who, like I think Zach said, like it's instilled into him content because he knows he can go through the lows, and he also knows to not get too high, not to get too high, because he has a foundation of what it takes to be a human being. You know what I mean? Like the foundation of going after something that's meaningful while living in this moment we have in the present. It's called the present because it's a gift.
Yeah. So I would say there's ups and downs in life, and being being content and calm in all of that, even if you're going through a really hard time, is what it's like all about. Because you know like this too shall pass, so you're able to withstand a lot of negative things and get through the, like you're in the bottom of like the waves crashing down on you, but you know you're gonna be through that soon enough because you have that foundation, like Tom said.
Yeah. I think there's no better way to end it on that note than on that note.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, it's been a joy. No pun intended, as always. Yeah, any last closing thoughts?
I'm good. Present is a gift.
Yeah, keep being you. Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll be back next week for another episode. Peace.